Lewis Richardson, Olympic bronze medalist 12 months ago. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Amazing.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I suppose I must start by saying that today is International Olympic Day. And the values of the Games very much around excellence, respect, and friendship. So I really want to kind of explore that with you because I'm pretty sure by the time people finish listening to this, they'll see that you embody all those values. So no pressure, but I'm sure it will come across. But 12 months ago, nearly, you were in Paris. What was that like?
Just the most amazing experience, to be honest. Memories that will stay with me forever, for sure. And as you say, 12 months on, but the memories are still as fond as they were back then. And I'm sure that will continue to be the most, wonderful experiences for me, for my family, my friends who travelled out to represent, Great Britain, Team GB, and Olympic Games, and to not only to represent but to bring home a medal. It will take some doing to top that.
Oh, absolutely. And one of those values around excellence, you must have been. Do you think you were in the best shape of your life?
Do you know what? I think I was from a physical point of view, but physically I'm always in good shape. But I think mentally I was in the best shape of my life. I was so sort of focused on just performing the best that I could be, rather than necessarily. I was a lot more performance focused rather than results focused. So I was just really aware that if I could perform to the best of my ability, whatever the result be, I'd be proud of myself and be happy with the outcome. And I was able to do that, and I was able to bring home an Olympic medal, which not too many people can say.
You're not wrong. And the smile says it all. I'm
Yeah.
smiling too. But there's something, isn't there, about that mental strength actually? Because how many bouts did you have to do to get to the final? Because that's
So,
quite
so
hard.
I had three bouts at the Olympic Games. But one thing not too many people know about the boxing qualification process, it's not a selection process. You have to qualify. So, 6 weeks before the Olympic Games, it was the final Olympic qualifier in Thailand. And there was four places up for grabs. The last four places up for grabs in the light middleweight division. There was 72 people enter that competition, and I was one of four that qualified. I had to have four bouts out in Thailand, and just a high pressure situation.
Yeah.
But for me, again, I'm proud of how I conducted myself and held my nerve, but also I think it's testament to the experience, to the ups and the downs I've had over the last, 12, 13, 14 years in boxing that really set me up for that sort of position to go out there and express myself,
Of course.
but do it in the best way possible and come out victorious. So
Wow.
yeah, amazing.
And I don't think a lot of people did know that because I didn't. So there's
Yeah,
like a pre-Olympics kind of qualification
exactly.
that
And
you had to do
yeah,
just to get to Paris.
yeah, and I missed out on the Tokyo Olympics. Usually there's three chances to qualify, and in the Tokyo Olympics there was only one due to COVID. I drew the world number one Ukrainian fighter who's double Olympic medalist, Olympic champion, and he beat me fair and square in a competitive bout. But back then I probably wasn't ready. But although that was tough, it just added more fuel to the fire for me to really push on and make sure Paris was my Olympic journey and Olympic dream. Throughout that process, there was a lot of obstacles in the way. My weight division got taken out, so I'm naturally a middleweight at 75 kilograms. That got taken out, so I had to drop down to light middleweight. There was governance and political issues where there was uncertainty whether the boxing would even be in the Olympics. A couple of injuries along the way also.
Oh, no.
So that cycle, that cycle between Tokyo to Paris was a really challenging one. But again, and I keep sort of saying, everything happens for a reason. And I believe that if you can bounce back from that, you can come back stronger and learn, become more resilient, then you put yourself in a much better position. And not just in sport, but in life. I think there's a lot of the skills and assets I've learned from boxing and through sport are so transferable to other aspects of my life. I've got a master's degree in sport business management. I believe, the hard work and commitment and the right drive and ambition I sort of brought through boxing transferred over to my education, to be able to support me in that, but also other aspects of life. I'd like to think I'm quite, yeah, I'm quite committed and driven.
This is so exciting. I'm really getting a picture of Lewis, this package of this mentally strong, committed to, but also educationally wise, recognising that you want a career outside of the ring, and certainly with your qualification. Come and talk to Active Essex when you're ready. We'd love to have you with us, actually.
Oh, listen, I'll hold you to that.
Come and speak to
This
us.
is on camera,
Yeah,
so I'll hold you to that.
absolutely, really, really quite exciting. Now, obviously, one of the other values around the games is around friendship, actually, and I think sport, absolutely, despite the fact when you're in the ring, it's a competition. There's a real strong camaraderie, isn't there, around boxers and that whole boxing family? Is that right?
Absolutely. Obviously, when you're in the ring, it's quite a lonely place. It can be a lonely place, but in preparation, you have a massive team around you, and that's within the boxing gym, within your conditions sort of set up, but also at home with your family and friends. And it's so important to sort of have the correct supportive people around you who are going to have your back, but also push you and challenge you. To be the best version that you can be. And I think I'm quite an individual who likes to, you know, push himself to be the best he can be anyway, but also having, you know, the correct people around you massively support that. And then heading out to the games, you talk about friendship. You know, I remember my Olympic medal winning bout. I had 50 people come over from, you know, from home and travel over, you know, friends, family, sponsors, girlfriends, amazing support. And those people really
spur you on, doesn't it?
Massively, you know, and another, you know, I keep going back to how amazing the experience was, but a massive part for me was being able to bring these people on my journey, and you know, I'll have those memories for life. But I also hope that the people who come out to support and the people who watched on TV, the people who got behind me, will also be able to have those memories for life. And that's what friendship's about. And that's just outside the Olympic Village. If you want to talk about inside the Olympic Village, when you've got your teammates. I was really friendly with our heavyweight, and you know, we were going around the Olympic Village like kids at school, and it was like, wow, what are these opportunities? What could you do? The volunteers at the games were so friendly. Team GB made a real effort to make you feel at home. They had fantastic staff to make you feel like, you know, one Team GB and really proud to represent your country. So, I mean, I can't say it enough, and I hope I don't get on people's nerves when I say it, but you know, it really was like the best few weeks of my life.
Obviously, we always talk about the legacy, you know, the legacy of the games, actually. Personally, for you, what do you see the legacy for Lewis Richardson from Paris?
Do you know what? It's been amazing since I've been home. Obviously, my profile has increased, but you know, especially locally, I'm a lot more recognised now, and I just want to be personable. I want to be, you know, I want to be a community champion. I want people to see me and feel like they can approach me, rather than be like, oh, there's someone, you know, we see on TV and we can't approach him. I've been into a lot of schools since the Olympic Games. I've done a lot of community events, you know, around the town, which has been really wonderful to do, you know, for all different ages, you know, from sort of, you know, real young ages through to adults. So that's been amazing. But I also want to really get the point across that, you know, no matter what environment, where you come from, that you can be a champion. And that doesn't have to be, again, obviously I've got my Olympic medal and my Team GB tracksuit, but that doesn't have to be, you know, elite sport and achievement. That can be whatever you decide, whatever route you go down. But, you know, you really can be a champion in your own right, regardless of, you know, what your background is. You know, I would encourage people to make sure they get, you know, good positive people around them, create a good environment around them. Change, if they are coming from a less privileged or a difficult environment, try and change that. Try and make a difference yourself, but also it's important the people you have around you. And I just want to listen. It's amazing you even asked that question. What's the Lewis Richardson legacy? Like, I'm just a super normal kid from Colchester who has really pushed himself to be the best he can be, and I've gone on to achieve what I've achieved. And